All right, today we are building this 2-moon coat rack. The clients wanted a coat rack exclusively for guests because they put their coats in a coat closet. But from an interior design standpoint, when the coat rack wasn't in use, which would be most of the time, they didn't want a bunch of hooks just hanging up on the wall. So we decided to create a sculpture that would double as a coat rack. So for the first step was to import my sketch that was approved by the client into the laser and cut out a template. Now I do have a CNC machine and I could easily cut this shape out on the CNC, but I really want to lay the template onto the workpiece to try to match the grain to the curve of the piece the best that I can, especially down towards that tip, because that tip is going to be the most fragile piece, and if the grain starts to change and go across the tip instead of a length of the tip could just break off. So you want to match the grain to the curve of the shape and protect your tip. Then as I'm cutting this shape out on the bandsaw, I'm reminded of another reason why I don't like to use the CNC when cutting out sculptural shapes like this. And that's because as you're cutting wood, a lot of times that cut releases the tension in the wood and the wood moves. So then all of a sudden the shape you were going for is no longer the shape you were going for because the tension in the wood being released pulled that workpiece out of alignment, and so it's no longer the shape you were going for. All right, and then to attach the template to the workpiece, I'm just using the double stick tape method. In a past video, someone asked me, hey, don't you know about the CA glue method? That's way better. And to that I say I have a lot of toxic chemicals in my life, and I'd rather that not be one of them. The CA glue method works, and there's nothing wrong with it if you like adding some chemicals to your life. But really that CA glue method has been pushed as the popular choice by Big Glue and their YouTubers that they sponsor. I'm not going to say stop watching sponsored content because that would be impossible because it's everywhere, but keep in mind that sponsored content is shaping the way people think woodworking should be done, and it's not always the right way or the only way or the best way. It's just a way. And I'm going to take my time at the router table and slowly sneak up to my template with a pattern bit. And when I say slowly, I'm just going to nibble away at it. I really do mean slowly. That thin little tip, since it's so thin, can have a lot of little chatter to it as the bit makes contact and can create a blowout situation or just explode that tip into nothing. So I'm just going to be really, really careful and just take my time. All right, and this router bit I'm using has a bearing on the top and the bottom, so I can switch back and forth between having the template on the top or the template on the bottom, and that allows me to always be routing with the grain and not into the grain, because if you route into the grain, that can create a lot of chatter and blowout. So curved workpieces are really hard to locate joinery on accurately because you don't have a nice flat square surface to reference off of. So what I'm doing here is I'm using the CNC machine to route out a pocket that the workpiece will snap into, and that way I can also use the CNC machine to cut the joinery. And it's basically going to be a kind of like a sliding half-lap tenon bridle joinery. I'm sure there's an official name for this type of joint, but that's kind of what it is. All right, so I'm snapping in my workpieces, and that Sharpie joinery section is just a visual aid to make sure I have the piece in the correct orientation. I don't want the half lap to be on one side and then on the other piece be it on the opposite side, because then they wouldn't go together, of course. And I left the dust collection off for two reasons. One, so you could see the action, but more importantly, I didn't want the brushes to drag the part out of the fixture. That's just a friction fit, so I didn't want anything to happen to it. All right, so after trash talking Big Glue, here I am using some CA glue to glue these blocks down, but this is going to get clamped together, so it's going to have some clamping pressure to it, and I don't want to rely on tape peeling off as I increase the clamping pressure. And I found these glue blocks to work really, really great, and I'm gluing right to the wood. And then those will just get busted off and then sanded away when I'm done. All right, so I milled up a piece of scrap as my floating tenon and got it fitting nicely. So I'm doing my glue up now. And one thing you'll notice is that I put glue blocks on both sides. So that way when I clamp it, the clamp doesn't pull it out of plane. So that way I can clamp on both sides to keep the piece relatively flat. And if it does get a little bit out of flat, I'm not too terribly worried because I can just send it across the joiner at this point to flatten it back out. And you might also be wondering why I didn't make this out of one long piece. And that was just because the curve was too severe. And if I were to make it out of one board, then those tips would start to cross into the grain, making them weak. I got the workpiece cleaned up and I located the seam between the two pieces where the shelf and hooks are going to go, so that shelf and hooks is going to hide that seam. And to locate that seam on this curved piece, I again used the CNC machine to route out a fixture to snap that piece in to hold it in place, so that way I could just use software to locate where the shelf is going to go. And then we're going to create a half lap joint across those curved surfaces with the CNC machine. All right, so now things are getting interesting. There was a lot of math involved to get to this fixture. As you can see, there's several slots that I had cut in there as test pieces and then just reused that piece of plywood by turning it around. But the purpose of this fixture is I wanted that half lap to be cut into all three sides of this curve, so that way there's no weird gaps on the curve where the shelf meets. So the shelf will dive into the half lap of the curve, guaranteeing that I don't have any gaps. All right, and now a lot of math and fixture location and part location later, we have everything located and a half lap being cut. All right, and then I'm going to use that same fixture to locate the half lap on the other side, so I'm just going to take it out and flip it over. And then one of the biggest challenges in CNCing is figuring out how to hold the part. Work hold down is always a big challenge. All right, and then I have the feed rate on the machine set to snail mode, because if we had a catastrophic failure at this point, it'd probably send me over the edge because there's a lot of work involved just to get here. All right, and then one of the biggest downsides in CNC is the rounded corners in joinery, so I'm just taking my time with a mallet and chisel to square those up. And then I made a fresh zero clearance slot to prevent tear out. And then cut the corresponding half lap in the shelves that the hooks are going to half lap into. All right, and then the main half flap that will connect to the moon shape. And a little test fit to make sure it fits properly. And the thing that we don't always show on YouTube as woodworkers, just because sometimes it gets tedious and boring, but I did have to take a second pass to make sure that was good and dialed in. That's just part of woodworking, finessing the fit. All right, so the moon part of the sculpture feels really bulky at this point, so I kind of want to relieve some material. So I'm just using a scrap piece of wood that's thin so that I can kind of flex into the curve of the moon shape, and then just kind of trace out a taper going from the shelf up to the tip. I'm just kind of eyeballing it to kind of get a feel for what I like. Then I'm just going to follow that line on the bandsaw. All right, so this sculpture is going to get screwed to the wall, and those screws are going to be hidden behind the hooks. So I'm countersinking a deep countersink through one of the half lap areas on the shelf, so that way I can just screw that whole thing to the shelf, and the screw head will be out of the way. And then I can just slide the hook into the half lap to cover up the screw head. So I got a little assembly to do on the shelves, and I'm gluing these up as a sub-assembly. So I'll glue the main shelf and the smaller tier shelf together. All right, and then once the shelf and hook assembly had time to set up, I glued it to the main moon. All right, while I was at the CNC machine, I cut out the shape of the hooks and part of the half lap joinery that I'm going to use to join them to the shelves. All right, and then to complete that joinery, I used a dado blade at the table saw. And of course, each one of those half laps on the hooks themselves needed to be squared up as well. I wanted to give the hooks a little bit more of an organic shape, so I put a round over bit in the router table, and I rounded it over each piece. And then after that, it still wasn't like soft enough. It didn't have the right worn feel to it. So then I spent some time at the sander just kind of finessing it in and just kind of giving each one kind of a worn, handmade feel to it. All right, spray finishing small parts is kind of a pain because the pressure from the gun blows the small parts around, and I want to pre-finish everything before I do the final assembly. So basically what I'm doing is I'm cutting a half lap notch in some scrap plywood that I can slide those hooks on, and then I'll spray finish the hooks sitting in this little jig, and then once they're dry I can pop them off and install them into the main sculpture. All right, the two moons get shipped separate, and then I will assemble them on site, and that way it just helps kind of guarantee that they won't get broken in shipping. If I were to glue them together where they touch, that'd be a weak point and asking for trouble. All right, I put the screw right through the half laps, and the hooks are just a friction fit to cover it up. All right, and there you have it, our two moon sculpture that doubles as a coat rack.